Good morning everyone. It's January the 12th. I'm getting quite happy with making these videos now. I don't know whether it's starting to show, but I'm still experimenting. First and foremost though, apart from getting the image right, which as we know these days is the all-important factor, well, since the new regime, the new order has arrived in the world, or the beginning of a new order, the image is something that people are unified behind, because these days anybody can be somebody. It's the American dream with a bit of a hint of the Frankfurt School thrown in, for good measure. Although the bit of the Frankfurt socialist theme with good measure isn't always a good measure. It can actually be quite toxic and poisonous if you are on the wrong side of it. So I would like to just explain a little bit of how I came to understand this sameness theme that seems to be encoded within society, to do with socialist ideals where people are all born a blank sheet. They don't have particularly intrinsic qualities of their psyche or behaviour, or, well, I mean, to be honest with you, they try to say this because that means, like with a religion or any particular indoctrinating force, that they are at free will. They have a free range to manipulate things, people, societies, etc. Because after all, we have nothing intrinsic within us. Intrinsically different, let's say, individual. Individuality can be something that's played with. For example, some of these ideas of rebellion against the social order that is, against old traditions, that's replaced what could actually have been individuality, and also the replacement of the person's individuality, which we're born with, has been replaced by consumer goods, labels, etc. But the dangerous thing is when they try to make us all like EU bananas, all the same shape, all the same type. Well, type has actually absolutely no meaning, because that would be discriminatory. We are all basically the same, no matter what. And this is because every regime, which is a controlling regime, has used this to equalise people, so that they're more easy to process. There is no grand ideal behind it, although at first cursory look it may seem a beautiful concept, one love, etc. But underneath it, it's the beginning stage of a one world government, where actually you lose your intrinsic person, your being, your authenticity over yourself. And if you're not careful, and you fall prey to, say, the mental health system, or have ideas that are above your station, as they would deem it, because after all we're all blank sheets, victims, and examples of our environments. Therefore, the ideal that we should be successful in jobs or in the world is our standing. It's all we are. But if you fall on the opposite side and you actually become somebody who is an individual, has formed individual ideas based on the crux of who you are, then you could be seen as slightly threatening, because they've invented so many diseases to do with Freud's input into the Frankfurt School, which is another controlling aspect of the politics in the world today. If you have a personality which fits one of the categories that they would like to write off, it's very easily done. The fact that they try to use medicine or even genetics to justify their wild claims is total nonsense. So many people I've met with diagnoses with no symptoms, who haven't been taking medication, they just simply don't fit what today's ideals expect of them. The new class system, the job, that's supposed to be now the Darwinistic ideal of success and stuff, anything that you're born with, because if you are born different, if you have anything inside you intrinsically, well, they say you don't. They'll say you're damaged, and they'll say that you have some kind of personality problem that means you don't fit in, basically. But this is just the beginning. I'm endeavouring to uncover and unravel this dreaded philosophy of the same, everyone being the same. Of course, they'll accept different, but basically born a blank sheet for them to write their cultural epitaph upon, as they do with generating new societies, are trying to create new societies with their ideals. For instance, what they do with Muslim countries, imposing Western ideals which actually do not fit. Democracy doesn't fit into a society which is governed among families, among religion, like a different form of network. You can't suddenly impose democracy. Yet, with a socialist and also corporate fascism that we are living with, thinks that it should be fitted on everybody's head, a hat that fits all, again, the same. It's a very cruel form of totalitarianism that we are looking at. It's also, I believe, been written into the Book of Revelations. If you can look at what Bush is talking about with Gog and Magog, just Google it, see what you come up with, same as anyone else, same as I did. If you have freedom of thought, let's use it.